So we're in the far west of Europe for the historic stages of the Vodafone Rally to Portugal. We stay on the dirt through the summer months with endurance events in Sardinia and Kenya, followed by the speed tests of Estonia and Finland. And the championship fight is already proving to be one of the most competitive for years. After 3 different winners in the first 4 rounds, just 11 points separate the top 5 drivers. Seb Ogier and Elvin Evans share the top spot, but the Frenchman opting to skip this weekend in Portugal in the manufacturers race. Early leaders Toyota Gazoo Racing hold a 29-point lead over Hyundai, Shell, Mobis, M Sport Ford in 3rd. It's been a busy opening day already, and it was quite some start for the M Sport boys. Pierre-Louis Loubet claiming his 3rd ever stage win in the opener, only to lose time late in the 3rd test with a worrying exhaust fire. There were dramatic scenes immediately after the stage. Thankfully, he was able to continue and fought his way back up to 4th. Loubet's teammate Ott Tanak then took over the lead with the fastest time in stage 2. The Estonian looking really strong despite running 3rd on the road, only for a damaged tyre in stage 4 to arrive with the worst possible timing. Almost a minute dropped, and his hopes of a 2nd win of the season were in tatters. Tanak 6th coming into this final stage of the day. And fresh from claiming his first podium of the season in Croatia, Esa-Pekka Lappi attacked the stages with renewed confidence into a relentless rhythm in the afternoon. A couple of fastest times propelling Hyundai's Flying Finn up into the podium places after he passed his teammate Neuville in stage 7. Dani Sordo's already claimed 6 podium finishes in Portugal, so no surprise to see the Spaniard at the sharp end. He did take the lead briefly after stage 4 and is running in 2nd, despite this overshoot in the previous stage. And out front, with so many dramas going on behind, it is Kalle Rovanperä who's put in a fine shift to take over the top spot from Sordo with 3 stage wins through today so far. Last year's Portugal winner now in pole position to take consecutive victories. After stage 7, Rovanperä's lead up to 14.2 seconds over Sordo. Lappi now 3rd after his latest stage win, half a second ahead of Loubet, with Neuville dropping to 5th. Championship leader Evans is out of the running, sadly, after a big off in that previous stage. So it's an all-new challenge then to wrap up the opening day. We switch to tarmac for our trip south around the streets of Figueira da Foz. Just under 3 kilometres long. As mentioned, this wide road blasts alongside the Mondego River. There's a long sweeping corner into a technical section, and the 2nd loop started with a power slide, complete loop around a roundabout. So going to be an interesting one to finish. It's a warm, balmy evening, still a couple of hours away from sunset. A bit windy today, and remember, these are cars and tyres prepped for a day on gravel, so expect a rather wild ride and plenty of sliding as the crews make the best from their compromised setups. This is our order for our opening day. No Evans, remember, so it's his teammate Kalle Rovanperä who's first into action, followed by Tanak, Neuville, Lappi, then Dani Sordo and Pierre-Louis Loubet. Oliver Solberg leading the way in the WRC2 class, and we'll get a big update from our leading support category with Andreas Mikkelsen there, 2nd place. What a day it's been. Julian Porter, how do you sum up today in a few short words?
Challenging, brutal, hard and tiring. You know, that's one word, very many one words. Really difficult. And this pairing here, I would say, drivers of the day. Unbelievable performance. 2nd on the road. Really, really, really big performance from them.
Yeah, so first little glimpse at this new stage. As mentioned, it's all tarmac, so you see them sort of wobble around a bit. That's because they're in a car very much set up for gravel. It's always an interesting challenge, isn't it, when they attack these tarmac stages in a gravel setup.
Yeah, that's why the car's moving around. They will try and do something on the road section coming in, but trying to lower the ride height a little bit, stiffen the car in the damper clicks and things like that. But you will still get that situation where it's got a lot of body roll and a lot of squatting under braking and pitching under acceleration, when the car, you see it go up and down under acceleration or braking. It's got some speed about this super special. There's a lot of super specials that, if I'm honest, the drivers don't really like because they're very slow, they're very nadgery, they're a bit tricky, messy. At least we've got a bit of speed about this one, so they can probably really get into it.
Yeah, there's that roundabout I mentioned. They do a sort of, not a sort of full donut, but like a nice long sweeping power slide. A little taste of how much of a battering the car's taken from the front
bumper, yeah. The front splitter and everything like that. That's
yes, this
passed itself by date.
It is amazing, this long sweeper.
And I tell you what, anyone gets that, if their tyres these tyres have done all afternoon, a huge amount of kilometres they've done. They start to like kind of overheat and go off. You don't want to be running too wide, I'll tell you. That's what you don't want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we said that before? You're not going to win a rally on these super specials, but you can certainly lose it. But yeah, what a wonderful day it's been for Kalle Rovanperä. Of course, he won here last year, despite running first in the road. That's where he really started to rack up those rally victories as he surged into his first championship title. That's the tightest corner. That's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done 70 k's more, approximately 70 k's more this afternoon than this morning. And they were all on the limit of their tyre life this morning.
I mean, that big slide there, there's not going to be anything left on the one of these sort of stages as well, when they do put a bit of rubber down on some of these long sweepers, that maybe a little bit more grip for the later runners. So there's our first benchmark then, 2:33.2 for the rally leader and our reigning champion. Molly Pettit should be down there asking the questions for us. A job well done for Kalle there. And Jonna Houghton as well, of course.
What a feeling you must have after a very long day out there, leading the rally from your road position. Tell us a little bit about this super special.
Yeah, it has been a really good day, to be honest. A lot of cleaning, but still we did a steady day. We were fast also, but took care of the car and the tires, so I can be quite happy. This one was tricky, it's quite dusty at the moment, so I think it can get quite a lot faster for the guys behind, but still, we are at the end of the day, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, great day. Just look how much lower the Puma is to the ground than the Toyota. I know the car overall looks like a lower car the way it is, but look, that dipping and pitching from braking and accelerating is nowhere near as exaggerated, because Oit seems to have got that car right on the ground, as low as he possibly can. On the ride height, he's probably got it as stiff as he can on the dampers. This car's not moving around. He did have a massive slide though on the long corner. I was thinking we were going to touch the wall, but it just looks... That is a chicane, by the way.
Yeah, it's impressive.
But you see how much lower it is?
Yeah.
Got a lot of understeer though in this car. Huge amount of understeer. That could be the tyres.
Yes, look
how low it looks compared to what the Toyota was. Toyota had a lot more body roll in all directions.
Yeah, frustrating day, wasn't it? Remember, he was the leader midway through today, only for that damaged tyre at the start of the afternoon to set him back. He didn't stop to change it. He elected to drive on. It was the correct decision. Only lost us about 54 seconds or so in that stage. But I mean, it's great to see. I know that it's frustrating, isn't it? But it bodes well for this run of 7 consecutive gravel rallies we have now, that he is able to be fighting at the front already, and he's still right in the mix.
Oh, we are in the wall. We did hit the wall.
He's certainly getting everything he can out of his final stage of the day.
I mean, it's not done any damage, but we did scuff the wall there. He's got terrible understeer in left-hand corners, really bad understeer in left-hand corners. Not sure why it's so bad. I mean,
well, it was a 2:33.2 from Kalle Rovanperä.
Well, I mean, we're up, and we had a glancing blow with the wall, 2:30.5.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds quicker than Rovanperä. Just a reminder, he's down in 6th place. He's almost 39 seconds behind the top 5. Thierry Neuville, this man, is his closest rival. So it's going to be an interest to see if Tanak... I mean, crucially for him, that puncture happened really, really early in the rally, didn't it? Let's hear from him.
Oh, that's 2.7 quicker. I guess it's cleaning a little bit, but it is the end of the day. How are you feeling?
Yeah, tarmac is cleaning for sure. Yeah.
He said there was dust.
Okay, yeah. Seems like the hybrid guys were with the laptop before and they switched off our hybrid, so. But anyway, yeah, it's been a very challenging afternoon. Yeah, we got some trouble in the morning, and yeah, we are quite happy to be here. So we were not so sure we will make it through this afternoon, and then we made. So yeah, obviously the punctures didn't help, but still happy to be here.
Yeah, sort of words you'd expect to hear. Happy to be here. Look at this wonderful scenes here. It's the Atlantic Ocean in the distance. Of course, we're facing west, so some of these spectators, thousands of them out there, are going to get a wonderful view of rally cars in action with a sunset behind in the next couple of hours. But yeah, Thierry Neuville, we do have a battle here, don't we, for what is effectively third place. We've got Lappi, Loubet and Neuville with only 0.8 of a second between them coming into this one.
Yeah, it's third, fourth and fifth. Neuville dropped 2 places in the previous stage.
And you touched upon it earlier, frustratingly for the Belgian, the positions for tomorrow were decided after that last stage.
Yeah, the road selection, the road picking order is given after the previous stage, not this one, because this is a spectator special stage, and it basically, they don't want people trying to manipulate the order when there's more and more. Look at how much stuff's hanging off the underneath of this car. I'm not sure what all of that is, of underbody protection, cooling, brake ducts and things like that, but there's quite a bit of stuff hanging down.
Yeah, it's frustrating when it's to lose all that time. Just in that one stage 7, he went off there last year, so he talked about, you know, not knowing the stage so well, maybe just affected his confidence, but very frustrating finish for the day when he got himself up into podium position. But yeah, dropping 2 positions in that start order tomorrow, how costly could that be? Just the sound of those tyres absolutely screaming. Come on, you've taken everything out of us already.
I never mentioned anything, did he, about just slightly glancing the wall?
Yeah.
Never mentioned about the huge understeer. But he did say something, we've had a problem from the morning. I'm not really sure what that problem was. We knew this afternoon he obviously had the tyre that went down, but...
And a hybrid issue there, just to finish.
Yeah, he says the hybrid, the compact dynamics through the hybrids, it's their machine, it's their baby. Said obviously they go in and check these things same time. Yeah,
dead level.
They go in and they check all data and everything, but potentially it's been inactivated or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, he was quickest through, so let's not worry about it too much.
So Espeka Lappi next. Let's hear from Thierry.
Thierry, that's level time with Tanak in there. Quite a battle for the podium position, but of course that doesn't help with the road order tomorrow. How frustrating was that to drop those 2 places?
No, it's okay. Everything didn't work after plan today, and sometimes the feeling wasn't there. And I just couldn't push more. I would have tried, but it wasn't possible. Otherwise, we would have been probably off the road. So I had to keep it calm sometimes, but for tomorrow we're going to do some changes, which hopefully going to help a bit to push a bit more.
The body language on Lappi's car compared to Neuville's is amazing. Neuville's was quite low down, a bit like Tanak's, but then Lappi, he's still kind of like quite high. You see the car lifting and dropping a lot, so he hasn't lowered his car and stiffened it up potentially as much. Just a completely different body language and characteristics of those cars.
Yeah, he's really wrestling everything he can out of the I-20.
Looks far more dynamic.
Yeah.
He's probably not as quick, but it looks far more dynamic.
He's been on it, hasn't he, all day? He's notched up a couple of stage wins. Lappi, of course, got that podium last time out in Croatia. Just fills you with confidence, don't you? You get back on these. I mean, he's been in podium scoring form in Sweden and Mexico.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about time.
He was off pace this morning, though. To be fair, his road position, I expected him to be right in the fight, and he wasn't, and he didn't really know why. He just hadn't got it together. But then he did this afternoon.
Yeah, well, let's see then. That's a shared benchmark from Tanak and Neuville's at 2:30.5.
You're looking at 2:30.5. It's 2.5 seconds, nearly 3 seconds quicker than Robin Perra. Robin Perra's worked all day long to gain seconds here, there, and everywhere, and he's gone just under 3 seconds. He's lost in a 2K stage.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful performance though for Rovanperä. I mean, it was that sort of
driver of the day,
2022-esque Rovanperä.
Yeah.
That was the Calais that really stormed to that title last year, including here in Portugal. A bit of water around in one of those corners.
Is it water, or is it where the road's really cleaned up or something? I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if it was water or not, but anyway.
Old city walls here, the medieval city walls. They're wonderful scenes here. We've been up and down down to the south of Porto today. They'll be heading back up to the service park here at Matosinhos later on, but it's a slower time in the end from Lappi, 2.1 down on that early benchmark then. Over to Danny Sordo. What a day it's been for Danny and Candido Carrera. Spaniards fighting right at the front from the very off.
EP, that's 2.1 down on the fastest time. How did you find this super special at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's a good show for the spectators for sure. Yeah, never my strongest point.
Why is that?
Too afraid of hit the barriers, hit the concrete.
And of course, that means that is already another position change, because Neuville and Lappi, the two Hyundai teammates, have swapped places again. Neuville back up ahead. He's now 1.3 ahead of Lappi, and it remains to be seen what Pierre-Louis Loubet can do. He's right in the mix in that fight as well. Remember, coming into this one, Loubet was ahead of Neuville, but only by 0.3 of a second. So Neuville could be set to take those 2 places back on the final stage of the day, but would have rather held it, as you say, on that last one when those road positions for tomorrow were decided. But certainly a strong way to finish. He does like a super special, Thierry.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, he loves a super special.
I mean, it's like you're not going to make big gains, but sometimes people like Thierry, they do this. A couple of seconds here, if you, in the end of the rally, end up taking a position or taking a finish by a couple of seconds.
And when you have, we had one here, then we got one tomorrow. I mean, some rallies have a few more than that as well, you know. But when you've got, it's part of the rally. You just can't give anything away. But as EP said there, you've got to be so careful that you don't connect something. Tanak was so close to taking something serious. We've seen people before where they've on a long car like that, ran into the wall on the outside and just damaged all the suspension and wheels, and that's it, game over for the day.
Nice and neat.
Yeah.
Around the hairpin there. Danny impressed you today?
Yeah, he's where I thought he would be, to be fair, with his road position. He's done what he should have done, and if it hadn't been for a sublime Rovanperä, he'd have been out front leading that battle.
Yeah, just frustrating. He had that overshoot, didn't he, in the previous test that's cost him. I mean, it's still only 14 seconds behind Rovanperä coming into this one. So let's see, could he make a couple back again on the fitting here?
Yeah, but it was 3 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at it, Sordo and Loubet, they had the best positions, as in the cleaning road effect that happens with every passing car. But we see a lot of people who don't take advantage of it, don't use it. Sordo and Loubet have today done that. Look at this time. Oh, yes!
7/10 of a second up there. Then it's a 2:29.8 then for Danny. He's now fastest through so far.
What's that on Rovanperä on the stage? What's he done?
Yeah, he's taken 3.4 up, so the gap is only just over. He's 10.8 seconds now behind the leader.
Danny, with EP telling us that he doesn't like super specials, he was very careful in here. You've just gone fastest through by 0.7 of a second after 8 stages, no service. You find yourself in second position. Good day.
You can repeat because I didn't understand nothing.
I'm just saying you're quickest through, finishing the day in second. Good day.
Yeah, it was a good day. I make a small mistake in the per hairpin. It was like I take the handbrake and it's just lock the front tire, so it was something weird. But at the end, I just tried to do my best. That was like all day, and to enjoy it.
Yeah, really good day for Danny. So back to this battle for
smiling Danny is really positive.
Absolutely, great to see. Yeah, just a reminder then, Loubet coming into this stage, half a second behind Lappi, 3 tenths in front of Neuville. Neuville had a pretty strong time in here, so what can the Frenchman do? Another really, really strong day for Loubet. led the rally, of course, after stage one.
Yeah.
It was like a long, long time. Was that still today?
Oh, we were so close to the wall.
Yeah, it might have just...
What was that this morning? Was that today and not yesterday? Or...
But I think it's clear to say it's certainly been his strongest performance in the Puma this year, certainly.
Yeah, this year, I mean, the Acropolis last year was really, really good. You know, he led up there, won a couple of stages. But it's these kind of rallies that he likes, this Sardinia. He enjoys these kind of rallies. Greece. But he's not got this car as hard in setup for this stage as Tanak did.
Yeah, of course, his best ever finish. He also had a couple of fourth place finishes last year, didn't he? So
he wanted to emulate his dad. His dad finished on the podium here in 1988, third place in the Lancia Delta and Integrale. He's desperate to kind of like at least match that or better it, is what he said.
Yeah, that'd be a wonderful story, wouldn't it? As he just sort of hung on there through that sweeping left-hander again. Those Pirellis screaming for a respite from the action, but I don't think there's going to be much left on these tyres.
No, I mean, depending on like what surface we're on, we're looking at 350, 400 euros a tyre, I've been told, and you know that's a fair amount of dosh and a fair amount of money, and they're right at the end of their life. They've got their money's worth out of them. We're not going to be as quick as anybody else, though. We are going to be just a couple of seconds down, 2:31.7.
Yeah, so let's see where that slots him into fourth place. You can see on the left of your screen, but a job well done. So it's now Neuville in charge in the fight for third. Loubet 9 tenths behind, and then Lappi another 4 tenths behind Loubet.
Yeah, Louis, you certainly have some stories to tell from this day. It's been a bit up, it's been a bit down. How are you feeling at the end of it?
Yeah, it's been a tough day. What happened this morning, so big thanks to the mechanics. On Sunday night, for sure, they will have some free beer. And one of them was one of my mechanics when I was in R5, and we also saved the day in Tour de Corse in 2016, I remember. So it's a nice story. Thanks to them, they did a great job.
Yeah, and what he's referring to there is that we had a tyre zone at lunchtime, not back to here to service, to have the car fully prepped. 2 mechanics able to help the driver and co-driver with only the equipment you've got in the car. They had the exhaust loosened, they kind of sleeved it back together, they put it back in, and to stop that exhaust from getting any gases out or any flames out or overheating the exhaust tunnel. So, yeah, fair play to them. There was a fair bit of sweat given out in that 15-minute tyre zone.
Well, I mean, when you spoke to him in that, he was pretty much, this is game over.
Yeah.
He thought it was done, so yeah, wonderful job by the M Sport guy. I mean, they've had a really, really positive day of M Sport.
Yeah.
I know they've had that frustrating setback for Tanak, but both their guys leading at some points and both still in the mix. A really, really strong day for M Sport all round, as it has been for this man, Oliver Solberg.
Forward drift into understeer.
Yeah. So he's pretty much the only driver. We were trying to work it out before we came on air.
Don't curse it. Don't curse it.
Yeah, well, let's let it get through the last.
He's had a good day.
He's had a good day, and let's hope it stays that way over the next kilometre or so. But yeah, Oliver Solberg leading the charge in WRC2 Honours. Remember, he won in Sweden. Got a podium in Mexico as well. So really strong start for the Swede. He already lost that bumper a couple of stages back. Don't be alarmed by that. Yeah, he comes into this stage with, he's now got a 53.8 second lead.
You are correct, there is water on that. There is water on that corner at least. I don't know whether these plastic bollards maybe have a bit of water in.
Just wanted to recap, yeah, with Greensmith, people are wondering what's going on with the times. He slotted back into second place. He had an amended time for a situation earlier in the day, didn't he, Gus?
When he caught Andres Mikkelsen, who'd stopped to change the wheel and tyre.
Yeah, so he got caught in the dust.
Back near enough, just over 30 seconds, which made a big difference.
I mean, Gus would be delighted with that, considering he's had a really tough day out there. So, yeah, it's currently Solberg first, Greensmith second. As I say, 53.8 behind, with Joran Marcel, the championship leader in WRC2, currently in third place. And that's with 40 seconds in time penalties. We'll get to that one a bit later. There we go. There's our first benchmark for the WRC2 category at 2:38.6 for Oliver, and a job well done today. And now I can say he's about the only driver in this category
Yeah.
who's managed to come through without dramas, although I'm sure he's even had a couple of moments out there. Difficult not to in a rally like Croatia.
Oliver, a long day has come to an end. We know that you like to put on a show for the fans, and I'm sure it is even better to do so when you're leading the rally.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, it's great. It's been a very good day. Very difficult, so rough, so much rocks and things going on, and it's been a good, clean day. Fast as well, but at least no punctures, and so that's good.
Yeah, we are, of course, in Portugal, not Croatia, for a moment there. Apologies for the confusion. I think my brain just got confused watching tarmac for us all of a
To
sudden.
be fair, I thought I must have missed something you said. I thought you were back referencing something else.
Let's go with that.
And I thought, okay, I didn't quite hear what he said about it, but yeah, we're related to... And then it was when you looked at me and I thought, no, I didn't hear anything wrong.
Yeah, the rally's coming thick and fast this time of year. Apologies, everybody, but it is certainly Portugal, despite this tarmac scenes. And Andreas Mikkelsen had started so well today as well. The returning Andreas Mikkelsen, of course, WRC2 champion from a couple of years ago. He was fighting at the front until
A lot of understated here.
Yeah, he had a damaged tyre and lost a lot. Had to stop and change it, didn't he, this morning? Somehow he's got himself back up to 4th place after those dramas. But all these issues for everybody else means that Oliver does have a nice, healthy buffer to take into Saturday. He's frustrated, Andreas, won't he? But the pace certainly has got into a rhythm.
I mean, yes, it's a limited program that he's doing. So yeah, he wanted to try and maximise absolutely everything, and he's done a lot of testing in this car, huge amount of work on it. So has got it. I was talking to a couple of people again yesterday. We just seem to be finding more and more out about this new Skoda, as in how on the edge it is to drive, and when you get it hooked up, it is absolutely fabulous. But apparently it's a very fine knife edge to kind of, you can easily drop off the ultimate setting, and then it's a bit of a struggle then. So, but people who have been doing a lot of testing in this car, Mikkelsen, Lindholm, Sami Piari, they seem to be able to get the car hooked up pretty quickly and pretty well.
Yeah, Mikkelsen, one of 5 top sports entries this year. Of course, he finished second, didn't he, in the WRC level back in 2016. I think that was the year Chris Meek won here. Of course, we did
16 was Chris, yeah.
We did have Chris Meek running a course this weekend, who sadly had to stop a bit earlier today.
So 2:35. That time, their quickest by 3 seconds is to Oliver Solberg in this category, not overall.
Yeah, so another good run for Andreas, and he'll be doing his best to keep the pressure on Russell, but Mikkelsen's got a 41.5-second gap to the championship leader. Let's hear from him.
Andreas, that's 3 seconds quicker than Oliver, and there, I'm sure it's a bit frustrating at this point about what could have been at the end of the day, but how do you feel about your own performance?
I think the performance has been there. I think we've driven like we should. Even though we had the tire off the rim, this one was not really our fault, and so I think the driving and performance from Torsten and myself has been really encouraging. Speed is there, and still a long rally to go.
Yeah, there is still a long way to go. He's hovering just outside the podium places, and there's a massive Gus Greensmith now up to 2nd place. I mean, he's just seems to be battling all day, but I mean, he'll be delighted to get through that and still be in the runner-up position. It just shows you what can happen here in Portugal, and one of these huge slides around that sweeper.
You've got to give it everything. We're talking about it in the main Rally 1 category, but in WRC2 they've got to give it everything on this piece of road as well, because you potentially can take a handful of seconds back here, and with all the dramas that have been going on, you might need that handful of seconds.
Yeah, remember Greensmith claimed the victory in Mexico. His first outing of the year started really well. He managed a 6th place finish in Croatia, but he did add the power stage win to that, so he's still very much in the mix in this early phases of the WRC2 championship fight, and a wonderful view directly above through the chicane. But yeah, it'd be great, won't it, just to pull away from a rally like this where you've struggled and still get a massive haul of points. It'll be, I guess, kind of a relieved man more than anything at the end of today.
Still got more to go than we've done in this rally, though.
Yeah, long old day tomorrow, isn't it? 148.6 kilometres tomorrow, including the the longest rally of the stage of the season so far. Amarante's 37.2 kilometres tomorrow. That's going to be epic. So make sure you join us again tomorrow, where the drama's set to continue.
From what I can understand from listening to drivers in the build-up to the event, tomorrow's maybe not quite as demanding and challenging as today, as in rocky roads and everything, but it's hugely long, nearly 30 k's longer than today, so we've seen how difficult it is. But also they do come back for a lunchtime service, so if there is people who are not 100% happy with their car, they are going to be able to come back and fettle their car, so to speak. But Gus Greensmith coming towards the end of the stage here.
Let's see, some Nicholson still fastest for you so far.
He's quicker,
yeah, well done, Gus. Good finish to a difficult day then for the Brits. Just beats his top sport teammate. Teemu Sanninen, another driver. There's a bit of damage there. You can see to the
that was missing at the end of the previous stage. Not really sure how that happened.
Gus, that's quickest through so far by 0.6 of a second. You find yourself in a podium position, but share your thoughts about the day.
It's been a tough one for sure. It's not been the best day this morning. No idea what happened. The car was a long way from what it felt like, and I just really struggled and didn't want to do anything silly this afternoon. Tried to be clean and efficient, but somehow still picked up a puncture. So yeah, still in a good position, but there's quite a big gap to all of us. So yeah, focus on going forward.
How do you entertain yourselves on the long road section back now?
Well, I'm a United fan and he's an Arsenal fan, so football's quite a big talk.
Yeah, obviously Premiership coming to its conclusion very soon. It's right in the final stages, and yeah, there'll be a bit of football chat on the way back.
Yeah, I can report how he is a big football fan, Gus. He never ceases to rub in how awful a season Chelsea are having this year. So let's stop talking about football.
No, because we talk about football with Gus Greensmith. He was an academy goalkeeper for Manchester City.
Yes, he was.
And Manchester City, Premier League champions. He was an academy goalkeeper for them.
No, they're not Premier League champions yet. Anyway.
No, but they have been.
Well, let's get back to the rally for now. Teemu Sanninen then again was fighting at the front, and he's another one who had to stop and change a wheel in the previous stage. So frustrating for the man that had been so close to winning last year, hadn't he? So that'll be a real setback.
I mean, this car looks far more aggressive than what it should do, because obviously bumper hanging, half the bumper, 3/4 of the bumper missing. I'm not really sure whether that's half, not all of it anyway, most of it. You can see like the trunks, the little trunks that are hanging down. That's for the brake cooling. And then it is something as simple as some trunking in from the front bumper and towards the brake discs.
Yeah, and Sanninen as well, another one, despite his problems, he's still up there in 6th place in the WRC2 standing. We started this weekend with 43 competitors. Looking at my last one, we're down to 35, so it's been quite a high attrition rate as well in this category. But yes, Sanninen as well. It's only his second outing after he finished 6th in Sweden, so he would have hoped for more than this, because he's another one who's certainly got the pace to be fighting for the title.
Did he lead after the first stage or something? He's been right in the fight on the podium. I'm sure he was out front at one point, but as you say, disappointing afternoon.
Let's see if he can finish strongly then. Up against Greensmith's time at 2:35, and a little bit slower, yeah, just 2/10 off the pace there, 2:35.2 for Sanninen. Again, another one who's showing great pace, but too many stories to tell, or one big story to tell, frustratingly. But this man again, who was leading the rally, was Adrian Formeau. We'll get back to him shortly as we speak to Teemu.
Well, Teemu, the car certainly looks like it's been through a pretty hard day. What are your feelings now after 8 stages and no service?
A big disappointment. We were having good rally and then got the puncture and some issues, but that's rallying and we have to do our best. But yeah, tomorrow is a new day.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian, big chuck. But yeah, he's saying he had to stop and change the wheel and tyre. Formeau has done that twice in 2 separate stages. The problem was the second time he stopped to change the wheel and tyre, it took him 5 minutes rather than normal minute and a half, 2 minutes. Questioned at the end of the stage, why did it take so long? They have these like battery-powered guns, like nut guns, which take the wheel nuts off really fast. When they went to get that out for the second time, the socket for the wheel nut wasn't on it, and they couldn't find it. So they had to go back to the old-fashioned way of a wheel brace. And that obviously just takes so much longer than like an electronic gun, a battery-packed gun. So that's where they dropped their extra time. I suspect they went looking for the socket for a few seconds, because they knew how much quicker it would be. But from what we can gather, the socket was missing. It's fallen off in the car or something like that. So.
Yeah, and that's really not what they deserve. You'd think they were leading the rally after the morning loop. I mean, it just shows you how quickly things can change, especially on a rally like Portugal. Well, we knew the afternoon loop was always going to be a challenge, and they knew it. And yeah, it does become a little bit of a lottery sometimes as you sort of try to find that balance between risk and reward. And sometimes you're not even trying to be cautious, and things can happen. So really frustrating for Formo, a little bit caught up in that hairpin there. But yeah, he needed a good score as well this weekend.
Yeah, he did. He really did, and as you say, he was having that good score, and then just the trickiness of this event just caused him a couple of issues.
I mean, of those front runners, he's the only man who will have done 4 events after this one, and you've got to say, with 5th in Monte Carlo, 7th in Mexico, 4th plus a couple of points in the power stage in Croatia, and again another setback here, and it's such a competitive field in WRC2 this year. Not what the Frenchman deserves, because he's certainly got the pace to be doing so much more. Good to see that Fiesta though, right on the money. Yeah, surface again.
2:35.6.
So still Greensmith, his former teammate at M Sports, who leads the way there. Then 6/10 down from Formo after a frustrating rally, day, sorry, for the Frenchman as well. Here's another Frenchman, the championship leader, Johan Roussel, while we speak to Adrienne.
Adrienne, this first day of Rally Portugal has been pretty hard on you. How are you feeling at the end of it?
It's been a good start, I would say, for the first 4 stages. Leading the rally, so it was really nice feeling, I would say, but then we had 2 punctures after for the last 2 stages, so nothing we can really do for that. It was a bit like a lottery. I think we did what we could, and it's just like that, I would say. It's just like that.
Just like that. At least he's fairly circumspect about the situation. Not much he can do about it, just bad luck again.
Yeah, Johan Roussel here, and obviously he's had a little drama. Going into the previous stage, he arrived at the stage start 4 minutes late, took a 40-second penalty. That didn't actually drop him in the overall classification until Gus Greensmith got his time back, and then it did drop him down. And he had a problem with the rear wheel. It was jamming up and locking up, and so he had to change it right before the stage start when he was meant to be checking in, but he couldn't go into the stage in that position, because it was, once you get into the time control, you can't do any work, and you would have had to have done that work then in the stage, which he knew changing a wheel and tyre is going to be about 2 minutes, so he preferred to take a 40-second penalty than a 2 minute hit.
Yeah, what it does though is leave us with a bit of a battle for second place now, with the amended time for Greensmith. Roussel coming into this final stage 8.8 up, sorry, behind Greensmith. So we do have a battle for the runner-up spot now between these 2 men who are both at the sharp end of the championship fight. So let's see what he can do in here.
But the best one in the championship so far is this pairing, isn't it? 2 rallies, 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess he had that, because he had that buffer, he didn't really need to. He came in here very much with a cautious approach, because he's got that buffer. He didn't need to be, you know, pushing for stage wins, because it's so competitive at the top. But let's see if he can match that time from Greensmith here, because it's still the Englishman with the benchmark.
You just look at the field. It's so. We've got a Skoda out front now, but we've got a Citroen battling. We've had a Hyundai with Sunderland up there. We've had a Ford of Formo up there. So 4 different manufacturers fighting in front.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? So there's Greensmith's time. A reminder, he's 2:35. And a little bit slower then. So yeah, another second conceded to Gus, but it's still all to fight for in the runner-up spots. As you can see, just over just under, sorry, 11 seconds now, the gap between second and third.
Robert Verves and Porto resident Hugo Magalash. Faf resident, sorry, not Porto, Faf.
Sorry, it's exactly 10 seconds.
1.2 on the fastest time in here, but you're in second place. The gap should have been an awful lot smaller. Perhaps you can share the story again of what happened on the previous stage.
My well is completely blocked because I don't know why. Maybe the well after the last stage is very rough, and but it's like that. It's so long, and it's not a bad day, but I lose a lot of time for a technical issue, and it's like that. It's my first technical issue in 1 year, and no problem.
To be fair, I don't even really think it's a technical issue. It's not a Citroen technical issue. It's just a wheel getting buckled. And they have wheel scrapers on these cars inside, like inside the wheels. And if it's not, the wheel's not round, if it's slightly bent, the wheel scraper will keep jamming on that part. So that'll be what it is. Robert Verves had a great shakedown yesterday, really competitive in shakedown. But then a wheel and tyre change in the first stage this morning, really hampering them.
Yeah, just confirmation if you didn't catch it. So that gap between Greensmith and Russell is now exactly 10 seconds in that fight for the runner-up spot. So yeah, let's see what Verves can do in here.
He's just struggling to get the car turning in there.
He's obviously had his issues today, down in 19th place.
Yeah, it's stage one this morning, dropped over a minute. To be fair, I don't even know whether to stop and change, but they dropped over a minute in the first one.
He's over 6 minutes off the pace here, our reigning junior champion, of course. Took a couple of stage wins, didn't he, in the FAF ERC round earlier this year. So he's got a bit of experience for a couple of the stages. Certainly the ones on Sunday we're going to see. He sort of knows.
It's the pitching of the car. The rear end's really low, the front end's particularly high.
But a lot more so than the previous round.
Yeah, well, I think it's all down to setup of how low you can get it on the road section, adjusting the ride height and things like that.
So let's see what Verves can do in here then, in the Fiesta. The left rear wheel even lifting off the ground there. Just 2.4 off the pace of Greensmith then is the Estonian. Mika Marcik from Poland. Next up.
Robert, that's 2.4 down on Greensmith's time, but looking in the boot of your car, you have some stories to tell us from today.
I think the story is quite similar to the others. We got some punctures, and that's the reason.
Otherwise, are you happy with your performance, the speed?
Not really. Been the same as last time when we were here in ERC on the really rough conditions. We can't really get the, let's say, correct feeling with the car. So yeah, a lot to improve.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Come on, Robert. It's only your third event in that car. Of course, you're going to have a lot to improve. Not probably his third event in that car, to be fair. It's coming from a junior WRC car to that. It's a big step up. Miko Marcek, someone else who's stepped up from the European Rally Championship into WRC. It's his second year in the World Rally Championship in WRC2.
Yeah, he's shown great pace, hasn't he, in the ERC. Took a win last year in his home events, and of course he's a 2-time national champion over in Poland. I guess we're going to be seeing him next week, are we?
I can't remember now.
I'd be surprised if we didn't. It is the Rally Poland coming up in the European competition next weekend. He took a resounding victory there last year. He's currently 9th place in the WRC2 standings coming into this final stage of the evening. He's just 13.4 seconds behind Erik Seiss in 8th place. I don't know if he's had some issues, because he's best part of 4 minutes off the front runners is Mikko.
Yeah, but I think a lot of them have had stories, and dramas, and it's been relentless.
I mean, as we mentioned, there's 43 of them this weekend, so it's pretty hard to keep up with everybody's. Everybody's got a story to tell out there, and it's great to see a few of these guys further back now.
Yeah, if you are a rally fan, you will see them next week. Just confirmation that they are in Poland next week.
Good to hear.
You would have expected they won it last year. It is their home rally. So, but such is the relentlessness at the minute of rally after rally after rally. You wondered whether potentially they would elect not to do that if this is their main focus. But then that's where their sponsors are from, is Poland. So
this is your favourite time of the year, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I got a week off somewhere, which is a bit disappointing. But never mind.
Anyway, let's see what Mikko can do. 3.3 off of Greensmith's fastest time there. So at the moment then, looking like it's a stage win finish to the day for Greensmith. And let's see if Molly can get any stories out of Mikko. First time we've had a chance to speak to the Polish star. As we turn our attention to Emilio Hernandez.
Mikko, long day, 8 stages, just having a little peek in the boot of your car to see what's been going on. Tell us what's been going on today out there.
Yeah, now we have proper tires for this tarmac stage. Yeah, long day. Unfortunately, we haven't got enough tires to also go in the stage mode or on the Mortagua stage, because it's in total 300 kilometers of road section, and that was tough to come back to Porto. But I think now we have 4 wheels with the air inside, and it's possible that we will come back, and tomorrow we will fight more. Yeah, about other things, maybe in the first loop I would like to drive a little bit faster, but in the second loop that was a lot about the lottery, and we are happy about this place where we are now, and it's possible to attack tomorrow.
Well, judging from that, he's had something going on with his tyres.
Yeah, I think they all have. Emilio Fernandez now on the stage. First time we've seen him this year in the World Rally Championship. Did 3 events last year. Yeah, the Chilean go back to Chile later on, don't we? In September.
First time for a few years we've been over there, and great to just be back in South America in general. Of course, it's been such a mainstay in the championship with all those Rally Argentinas and of course Chile in more recent years.
Nice. Really got that singing and dancing around there. Did have like extended programs in the European Rally Championship a couple of years ago, but first time we see him this year. But I mean, let's see as we progress on. They don't have to do all of the rallies in the WRC 2 Championship. They can elect 8 to 7, and they score 6. I think it is. I can't remember now.
I'll tell you what, such as the eventfulness and attrition rate we've had, Julian, he's actually in 7th place overall in WRC 2, just 13 seconds behind Sunderland, so it's not been a bad day.
No, put a lot of water now on that corner for the next people. So yeah, that's answered our question. That is where the water did come from earlier on. He's really finely cutting that corner. That landing on the jump, it looks great.
Yeah, a little bit wild. I guess those tyres right on their limit, as it is for pretty much everybody. But no mistakes so far as he gets into that last blast towards the finish line now. Listen to those tyres.
Yeah.
There we go, so 2:38.5, that's 3.5 seconds behind Greensmith, 8th fastest overall then. Larry Una then from Finland, next up.
Emilio, you find yourself in 7th position, but it's a pretty good battle with Sice here at the end of the day, making things a bit interesting in there.
Yeah, we will be what time we made and what time he made, but it's okay. I'm here with the complete car, and I'm happy for that.
Marshall's just correcting the barriers a bit there, but yeah, Molly's quite right. It's not just Sunderland ahead, he's got Eric Sice just 2.4 seconds behind him coming into this stage. Oh yeah, that was, goodness me, yeah. There's, as you say, a little bit more water around there.
You can always be a bit more flamboyant when it's plastic bollards on the outside rather than a concrete wall. But yeah, Lauri Una, a graduate of the junior WRC.
I think he may have just been held there a little bit longer while they repaired that barrier.
Yeah, put them all back in the water. Yeah.
It took the WRC 3 title, of course, last year. 26 years old, youngster from Finland, and once again a never-ending supply of young Finns coming through, as they always do for the last.
They had a barren stretch, though, didn't they? They didn't have
by their standards.
By their standard, they had a barren stretch where there was not really anybody. Jari Matti-Latvala was the one, and that was
after Mikko and Jari.
After Mikko and Jari, there was kind of like, where's the next one coming from? And then, boom.
Didn't have a bad year last year.
And we've not got some bad talents in running up to it, you know.
Oh, no, suddenly it's, you know, Pyries and of course Lindholm taking the title last year in WRC2. Yeah, it's you're quite right. Didn't last long, that barren spell.
Well, at the top level, it lasted 20 years at the top level. Well, Gronholm to Robin Ferris, 20 seasons. That was kind of like, in theory, unheard of. But Finland it's got its talent machine working again.
To be fair, in that block there was a couple of Frenchmen that pretty much stopped anyone getting a look in, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But the French were doing a great job with their young development program. Like Loeb came through it, then Ogier came through it, and Formeau and Lube. So
Roussel now leading the championship. So
but don't you find, though, success breeds success?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. It breeds success. So the Finns have come back on stream, and youngsters like Yao are kind of like coming back through. Huge understeer there for Lowry through that corner. Understeer there for Lowry through that corner.
Yeah, Una coming into this stage. He's 14th in the WRC2 coming into this one. He's just a couple of seconds behind Correa, one of our locals. Araujo, the long-time, many Portuguese national champions, in 12th place currently. Just see that sun beginning to set. It'll be a wonderful sunset this evening. We've got a cloud in the sky, I think, all day, and long may that continue this weekend. We so often the weather playing a part here in Portugal. There's that corner. Good job by the Marshals.
Yeah, I think they've just eked it out a little bit, haven't they? Just so that they don't have to keep rebuilding it.
So this last couple of corners now for Una to negotiate. So I think this is safe to say this will be a stage-winning finish for Greensmith. Let's see where Una slots in. It's 4.4 seconds off the pace. That's the slowest so far in that category. 10th. Great time for Solberg in there, really, but a good job he had that buffer already built up, just took it carefully in there. Now, Marco Balassia had been in 3rd place. We'll get back to him shortly.
Larry, 14th in a huge field of WRC2 cars after the first day. You must be pretty pleased with that.
Yes, and we had 3 punctures already, so yeah, need to be really happy about that. Today's stage was rough conditions. Tomorrow it will be more better, but never to be for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like another man to be relieved to make it through to the finish. Yes, Balassia, another person with a story itself, because yeah, just a couple of stages ago he was in podium position, the Bolivian.
Yeah.
Whoa! There we go, same corner.
Yeah, he's got to come back round there again as well. I don't think that'll be rebuilt, so... Yeah, Balassia, he's kind of been running out of the limelight today because of his road position. We've not been kind of aware of what we've been aware of what he's been up to, as in classification-wise, because he's been popping up there, but not seen anything of him. It's the first time we've seen him all day.
Yeah, he's one of the mainstays, isn't he, in WRC2 the last couple of years, and he's quite often there or thereabouts in the championship fight. I think this year just that level steps up a little bit, hasn't it? So it's going to be difficult for him to stay in the championship.
But you see, he's also picking and choosing his events. He hasn't done many events so far where he's scored points. I think it's only one or something.
It's just Monte Carlo in Sweden, actually. Yeah,
Monte and Sweden.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he took a 7th place in Monte Carlo, 5th place in Sweden. This is the first time we've seen him enter to score points, at least certainly this weekend. So he's dropped that bit of time in the previous stage, but he's still in a top 5 spot. He's just 15 seconds behind Mikkelsen. He's got a bit of a buffer to Teemu Suninen, who, of course, is another man who's stopped to change the wheel. Wonderful scenes here at Figueira da Foz. What a spectacular way to finish this enthralling opening day in Portugal. Wonderful scenes. Thought he might be getting it close to the barrier again. That one wouldn't be so forgiving. That's a very concrete block, that one. And then foot hard to the floor. Down to that finish line just after the roundabouts. Don't think he's going to get close to Gus's time. No, he won't.
So we don't really we don't know what happened in the previous stage when he dropped from 3rd to 5th. So I mean,
it was a 1 minute 20 just under drops.
Got a feeling we know what it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in this final stage of the day, it was Dani Sordo. What a day he's had. He took a stage win to finish, just 7/10 up on his teammate Thierry Neuville. Went Tanek there in 2nd. Pierre-Louis Loubet, another who's had a really strong day there in 4th place, with Lappi 5th, Kalarov and Pera in 6th place. And this is what it all does to the overall standings. Kalarov and Pera then leads by 10.8 seconds over Dani Sordo. Thierry Neuville back up to 3rd. What a day it's been. Julian, your final thoughts then on, let's call it an eventful first day here in Portugal.
Yes. An eventful day, big day, and I think, to be totally honest with you, as I said before, driver of the day, it's got to be Robin Pera and Jonny Haltonen. Big performance.
Yeah, that's all about time we've got for this evening. So as the sun sets over the Atlantic after another eventful day in Portugal, we'll turn our attention to the weekend. Another packed schedule of 7 stages tomorrow. But it's good evening from Porto, and we'll see you tomorrow.